Oh, we're going to turn now to the Democratic side of politics. Democrats voted in Obamacare. They don't want to defund it. They don't want to delay it. Now that we're in a government shutdown, what is the strategy that the White House and the Democratic Senate are going to adopt? I've got political diary editor and Fox News contributor Jason Riley here to talk about it. Jason, I'm going to put a poll up on the screen here that shows that 63% of the public disapprove of the way Republicans are handling these federal budget negotiations. What do you do if you see those numbers and you're a Democrat?
I think that's the Democratic strategy in a nutshell. They're looking at these polls. That's what the strategists are looking at. That's what the White House is looking at. They're saying, we can win a battle in the press, a blame game. We can win it, and that's why we can hold our ground. I mean, yes, it's true that more than half of Americans disapprove of Obamacare, but more than 60% say a government shutdown is not the way to go. And I think the Democrats are counting on those numbers. Furthermore, if there is a shutdown, people are prepared to blame Republicans versus Democrats.
Sure.
An extended one. They're willing to blame Republicans versus Democrats 46% to 36%. So if you're a Democrat, you say, we sit tight, let the shutdown happen, we're not going to get blamed. And you know they do have the media on their side. They always have. Plus, at the end of the day, Republicans still don't have the votes in the Senate to enact their will. So if you're looking at this from a purely strategic point of view, Mary, the Democrats still seem to have the upper hand.
I just had Steve Moore on the show, and he talked about the Vitter Amendment, which would remove that exemption from Obamacare that Congress currently enjoys. Could Democrats in the Senate peel off if you force them to vote on that? Because it's sure not going to be popular for any politician to say, I want an exemption, but you, average American, you're stuck with this program.
Right. I think that that's an idea, a concept that resonates with people, politicians trying to get away with something that the rest of us can't. I think that is a way to go. You pick something like that in the bill where you do have the possibility of picking off some of those red state Democrats. For instance, on another issue, whether to delay the individual mandate. Joe Manchin, the Democrat from West Virginia, the senator from West Virginia, has already said that he would vote for something like that. Now, he is from West Virginia. It is a red state, and you have to wonder if there are other Joe Manchins out there, people up for, or Joe Manchin isn't up for re-election, but people like Blanche Lincoln or Mary Landrieu, or Mark Pryor of Arkansas is another red state Democrat up for re-election, whether they're vulnerable on issues like this.
What is the lesson that the White House is taking away from this GOP fiasco, where the GOP House keeps sending up different kinds of bills up to the Senate? Senate says, we're not going to negotiate with you. They hold firm. What does that mean moving forward for the White House? Is the lesson, well, we just don't need to negotiate with these guys ever?
Well, I think the lesson the White House takes away with this is that we have a divided opposition. Hold our grounds. They're fighting among themselves. Let them fight it out. And at the end of the day, they still don't have the votes. So I think that's the lesson. And that's why I think my colleague Steve is right. You pick an issue you think will resonate with the public, like the individual mandate, like making Obamacare apply to the political class too, and you push that. You make them take hard votes on those issues. And defunding, that's something you can push down the road when you have the votes to enact it.
When you have the votes to enact it, they sure
don't
now.
win elections.
You got to win elections. Small detail. Political diary editor and Fox News contributor Jason Riley.